Hello, welcome to the lecturer's desk. Get your medical thoughts cleared before you leave. And please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell.
Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michael. You can call me Mike. Today we are going to continue with our previous class. We are going to take all the 12 leads and then explain them how the graph look like. That is physiologically how they must be. So that when you take it and there's a little change of the graph, you'll be able to know that no, there's something wrong somewhere. So get in touch with me, please stay, and then let's continue with our today's class. Today we are going to talk about the bipolar leads, the augmented leads, and then we talk about what the precordial leads. So we are starting from the bipolar leads. From the bipolar leads, we have 3 of them, which is what the D1, D2, and then the D3. Now, if you take the D1, we actually have certain triangle over here. You can all recall from our first video of this this topic. We have this triangle called what? The Enthovin triangle, and this triangle serves as what? How the electrode are being placed, and then the movement of what? Or the axis of the leads. Do you understand? So when you actually take the D1, this is our D1. The D1 has 8 negative electrode here and has 8 positive electrode here. And then the movement of the vector is towards the positive electrode. Do you understand? You can remember from our previous video. So now, if we take the heart, we have, let's assume this is what? Our negative electrode, and this is what? Our positive electrode. Do you understand? We actually generate the action potential from the sinus node. So from the sinus node, when you generate the action potential generated must move towards what? The apex of the heart. Do you understand? And you can see the location of this vector when there's movement of the location of this electrode, when there's a movement of the vector downwards the ventricle, it actually gets closer to the positive more than the negative. So it moves away from the negative and a little closer to the positive. So this lead is going to give a positive reading. You can remember from our previous video when the positive vector moves towards a positive electrode, it gives us a positive reading. So we are going to get a positive reading for this lead. Do you understand? Now, let's come to the second one. For the second one too, we have the negative to be here, and then the positive to be here. So the movement of the vector is towards the positive. So we have our negative here and our positive here. And this is the most common one, the most easiest one, because this one is not complicated. We generate our action potential over here. The vector will move towards the apex of the heart, which is the ventricle. And this movement will move towards the positive, away from the negative. So this gives a positive reading, which is something like this. Now let's look at this one, the third one. The third one has the negative here and then the positive here, and then the movement of the vector is towards this side. Do you understand? So actually when you take that one, it has the negative here, it has the positive here. And as we generate our action potential from the SA node, we transmit it to the down. Do you understand? And then the movement of the vector will be getting closer to the positive than the negative. So it will give a positive reading for all our waves. Do you understand? To give a positive reading for our waves. So we get positive reading for D1, D2, D3. So when you take your EKG graph and then you didn't see positive reading for these leads, please, you must check. There might be a problem somewhere. There might be a pathology somewhere. Do you understand? You understand as we move on to the pathology form. Now, So this is what the physiological reading. Now let's come to what the augmented list. The augmented list, they are three. We have what the AVR, the AVL, and then the AVF. The AVR is being placed at the right side of the arm. Do you understand? So we take it. This is their unipolar electrode. They have only one electrode, and you can remember I said if there's only one electrode, they are positive, and then the heart will generate a negative imaginary electrode for that one. You can remember from our previous video. Now from here, what it does is it has our negative it has our positive electrode over here. So our positive electrode is actually here, and then the heart will serve as our negative imaginary electrode. So as we generate the acting potential generated over here, the movement of the vector will be going downwards. So as the vector moves downwards, it is moving away from the positive. And I said when the vector moves away from the positive, what happens? It gives a negative reading. Give a negative reading. So actually this one, the polarization of the atria will be negative, and then the depolarization of the ventricle to will be negative. Do you understand? So this is actually going downwards, whilst the positive electrode is up here. Now if you take the reading, you must know that the AVR is giving a negative reading. So if you take it and it's negative, you must consider it as normal. That is a physiological reading of the AVR lead. Now let's come to the AVR. The AVR is having it positive over here. Do you understand? This side, it has it positive over here. So if you take the heart, the positive will go to the right side. The positive will be somewhere here. Do you understand? So as the positive is here, and we generate our acting potential here, and we transmit it through the apex of the heart to the ventricle, what happens? The heart, as it gives us a negative imaginary electrode, we move away from the imaginary negative electrode towards the positive. Do you understand? So we see this is a little bit closer to the positive electrode, the direction to the positive electrode than the negative one generated by the heart. So because of that, this gives us a positive reading. So we are going to get our P wave, our KOR complex, and then our T wave. Sorry, here I didn't bring the T waves. The T wave too will be negative. Do you understand? Now, why? Because here, when you take the T wave is the depolarization of the ventricle, and it's actually the movement of the negative vector. Do you understand? So as the negative vector moves towards the base of the heart, it will be moving towards the positive. And you can remember I said when a negative vector moves towards a positive electrode, it gives us a negative reading from our previous video. So this is actually giving a positive, and then this is giving a positive T. Do you understand? So that's our T waves. Now let's come to the AVF. The AVF too is having the positive downwards. It is also the easiest one. So as the positive is down here, what is the movement? So in our heart, we get our positive here, and as we generate the acting potential, the vector will move downwards. Do you understand? To the ventricle. And as the vector moves downwards to the ventricle, it moves closer to the positive. So it will give us a positive reading. Now, so this is the reading for the limbs lead. For the limbs lead, we get the positive reading, except the AVR, we give a negative reading. So the AVR is giving the opposite of the other leads. Now let's come to the precordial list. So in the precordial list, we have the V1 to V6, And we know the precordial leads, they are called the chest leads. We place them at the chest. Do you understand? Now, we know the position of the V1, which is what the fourth intercostal space. Do you understand? Fourth intercostal space at the right side of the sternum. Do you understand? The sternum edge. And then the V2 is the same place, which is what the fourth intercostal space at the left side of the sternum edge. And then we have the V3 and then the V4. The V4 is also at the middle clavicular line. Do you understand? At the fifth intercostal space. And then the 3 is actually between the V2 and then the V4. And then we have our V5, which is located as anterior axillary line at the same place, which is the fifth intercostal space. We get our C1, which is located at the mid axillary line, and it's the same place as the V4 and the V5, which is the fifth intercostal space. Now, they are also unipolar electrode. They have only one electrode. They are positive electrodes, so the heart will actually generate the negative electrode for this. So as we take the action potential, the action potential, the movement of the vector, of the vector towards this side, do you understand, of the heart. You see, we'll be moving from the negative part of the heart towards this positive electrode. But mind you, these 1 to 6 electrodes, they are not going to record the same length of the QR complex, because some will be getting higher the vector will be pointing towards certain electrode than others. Do you understand? So the one that will be getting the direct pointing will get a higher reading of QR complex. So if we take this one is getting this one is a little bit far from the V1. So the V1 reading will be little bit low. So if we take the V1 reading, it's something like this. If we take the V1 reading, it is something like this. It's something small, like this. Do you understand? Now, we come to the V2 reading. The V2 reading too is something like this. Now, let's come to the V3. The V3 too, as we are moving from 1 to the other numbers, it will be increasing. The R will be increasing. So for that one too, it will be having higher than that of the rest. This one too will be having also the same thing. We have our P, our Q, our complex. And then when you come to the 5 too will be having higher. So we have our P, our Q, our complex. Do you understand? And then you come to the 6 will be more. Do you understand? As the position, you have our P, our Q, our complex. Then you get our T, our T, our T, our T wave. So basically, when you take the V1 to V6, they are all positive, but their positivity increases. The V1 is the QR complex, its positivity is low than the V2. The V2 too is low than the V3. The V3 too is low than the V4. V4 is these two, they are almost the same, but this one is a little bit higher than that one. Do you understand? When you take V5 is higher than the rest, and then the V6 is higher than all of them. Do you understand? So this is the actual physiological reading of all the 12 lists that we have. So when you take the list, you must expect positive reading for the precordial, And then you must expect what? The positive reading for what? For the bipolar. And then you must expect what? One negative reading is what? AVR must give you a negative reading, and then the AVL and then the AVF must give you what? Positive reading. And this will give you what? A clear idea about what is happening in the heart, because some of the pathologies changing the actual reading of what? Of these what? Leads. Do you understand? The actual reading of these leads may change, or some of the position of what? The heart. Sometimes you can get some pathology that will cause the heart to change its actual position. Instead of pointing towards downward, the heart will be pointing what? To the left side straight, or to pointing upwards, or to pointing down straight forward. Do you understand? And all these causes changes in what? In the reading of what? The leads. And as you see them and you compare to the pathology, the physiology one that you know, you'll be able to know that no, there's a pathology somewhere. So this brings us to the end of what? Today's lesson.